Heyo, it's Omnidog here. Thank you for tuning in to this review where I'm going to be reviewing two books, Superman, Son of Kal-El by Tom Taylor and Batman, the Imposter. Let's see. There, now you can see it. So, as usual, first of all, let me plug organic price books, yoink, where you can get $2 off with the code Omnidog, and even better, 5% off if you ship 3 or more books together with code Omnidog. Ship it together. Right on, right on, right on. Peace and love to organic priced books. So let's just get this out of the way right away. Yes, this is Jonathan Kent, son of Kal-El, as Superman. Superman Clark Kent also is in this book. But yes, this is the book that had my brother, who never even pays attention to comics, call me last summer and said, "Is Superman gay?" And I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" So yes, in this book, Jonathan Kent does kiss another man, or another teenager maybe, and as Superman, Jonathan Kent fights against what he perceives as injustice. So if either of these things don't sit well with you, you probably shouldn't watch the rest of this video, and you probably shouldn't read this book. There are like 1,000 other Superman books I can recommend to you. Hey, if it bothers you, peace and love. It's okay with me if it bothers you. These are made up characters. It's just a comic book. But if it bugs you, honestly, just let me know that you'd like a suggestion on different Superman books, and I'll be happy to tell you. But this is the one I'm reviewing today. So you have 2 seconds to go about your business, or else I'm going to review the book. Ready? Okay, good. First of all, this is by Tom Taylor, who is, of course, fantastic. This is what the dust jacket, when you take it off, what it looks like. And the back. So one thing is, not necessarily can you jump into this book right away because, as I said, it's Jonathan Kent as Superman, son of Kal-El. He has been aged up in the Bendis run, which I don't know if it was Bendis or editorial, but either way it happened. Went to the future and saw that when Superman leaves Earth to fight whatever it is he's fighting, I haven't caught up to that part yet, that he doesn't return. So when Jonathan returns, he's dreading the talk that he's going to have with his dad because in his mind, the future, his father's not going to come back. So they have a talk. They have a long talk, actually. It's actually really well set up. Tom Taylor goes back to the birth of Jonathan Kent, and Batman right here is already taken somehow a sample of the baby's DNA and says, since he's both human and alien, he could end up being more than what Superman is, which I thought was an interesting touch. So also Damian they're still besties, and Damian has been aged up too, I guess to fit the comic. Now I haven't read anything Future State or Infinite Frontier. I just thought I'd look at this. So I don't know what happens between Bendis' Superman and this book, but it was enough for me to enjoy it because I knew he had been aged up and I knew about the future stuff. And Jonathan is different than Clark Kent as Superman. Jonathan is looking around and seeing what he considers a lot of injustice in the world. For instance, there are refugees from a place called Gomorrah, which figures heavily into this book because it's run by a guy named Henry Bendix. He's the dictator / president, and there are refugees. So Jonathan goes, and this isn't spoiling it much, but I'm just giving you a setup for how Jonathan's character is in the book. He rescues the refugees, and when the refugees get to the port, they're arrested. Jonathan says, well, you need to arrest me too, as a kind of protest. And he goes to jail. Superman bails him out. But he has a very strong sense that not enough is being done. And in the conversation with his dad, Superman, he's worried that when he leaves, he's not going to come back. Superman has an answer for that. I'm not going to wreck it for you. But then he also asks, why haven't you done more? This isn't the scene. This is just more of the art. The art is actually really good. It is by John Timms, and it's kind of that shiny pink nose art. But if you get my drift, the characters have shiny pink noses, but it fits the book. And he asks his father, why haven't you done more for the world? And the answer is actually pretty touching. Clark says, because I'm an alien. I'm not from here. I don't know that it's my place. But Jonathan, I'm paraphrasing, Jonathan, you're from here. This is your home world. You need to do what you feel is right. So that sets the tone for the book. And the central sort of conceit in the book is that there are superpowered beings showing up with no knowledge of who they are or where they're from, and their superpowers just sort of erupt in the US. And they don't know where they are, they're scared, they don't know where they are, and it's up to Jonathan Kent, who's Superman at this point, to figure out, with help from others, where they're from, why they've been sent, and how he can help them. And it's going to be hard for me to judge everything just based on 6 issues. I know that it's a continuing series, so maybe once I get to the second book and I can review like 1 through 12, I'll have a fuller, am I using that right? It'll be a more well-rounded opinion. But I really enjoyed what I read here. Jonathan Kent is definitely his own person, which I liked a lot. There is a ton of character growth in this because he's now the protector of the world, and he has to grow up pretty fast, and he's got all these teenage feelings. Well, he ends up kissing a boy, as I said in the beginning, which I don't care about, as long as the boy's nice. So anyway, the boy's nice, so don't worry about that. But the boy is also central to the plot, and it's a very interesting. It's interesting. I won't spoil it any further because it's worth exploring the ways that Jonathan goes about protecting those he feels need help and trying to solve this problem all of a sudden of all these superpowered beings being teleported in and sort of erupting, and they're having no knowledge of it. Book is solidly written, as you might expect from Tom Taylor. The art is really good. I think that you will definitely enjoy it. I'm looking forward to more, which is a good sign. I want more of this because I find it very interesting how he's growing as a person. Instead of he's just a man going about his business, he gets a lot of growth and is trying to figure out his place in the world and how he can serve it. So Superman, Son of Kal-El, also known Volume 1 as The Truth. Top notch, worth reading. I can't wait to read the second volume, get the full 12 issues under my belt. And I highly recommend it if you're a Superman fan or Tom Taylor fan or both. Which leads us to the next book, Batman the Imposter. Now, I am not familiar with Mattson Tomlin. I am familiar with Andrea Sorrentino, who does the art. And this is what it looks like without the cover. These are both standard size hardcovers. And it finds finds Batman, Bruce Wayne. There's a lot of Bruce Wayne in this, at sort of the beginning of his career. And he sees, and this is Leslie Tompkins. This is, of course, great Andrea Sorrentino art. And he sort of bursts into her office, and she is a psychiatrist as well as being a doctor and having, you know, a place to treat people and take care of them. She plays the Leslie Tompkins role really well, but she's afraid of Batman, and she takes he comes breaks through the glass, comes into her office, and that's how the story begins. And she takes his cowl off and finds out that it's Bruce Wayne. And she's ready to dial 911 because she, at this point, she feels like Batman, you know, vigilante, he could be a danger. She's not sure. And so she says, I won't turn you in if you talk to me as a psychiatrist about what you're going through, because what you're doing is crazy. And I think we can agree that, yeah, it is crazy. And so he goes through a bit of psychotherapy with her. She patches him up. And as I said, we get a lot of Bruce Wayne in this book. So you see him in a big empty bat cave. There's no Alfred. He's not interested really in Wayne Manor. He's very conflicted about all the things that he has. And the imposter is an imposter Batman. Detective Gordon has been booted off the force because of his using Batman and helping Batman to rid the city of crime. So we have a new detective in charge, and she visits the, let's see, wait 1 second, let me get her name, because I obviously forgot it. Okay, 1 sec. Detective Wong. So here she is. I apologize for that totally unprofessional glitch, which of course will not be edited out. But Detective Wong wants to try and figure out who Batman is too. But there's an imposter Batman who, while the real Batman tries to stay in the shadows and not be seen, this Batman is killing criminals right out in public and making sure that he's seen. So what does Batman do? He's got Leslie Tompkins, who wants to turn him in unless he undergoes psychotherapy. He's got Detective Wong knocking on his door as Bruce Wayne. She's visiting the various power brokers, trying to find out the connection, if there's a possible connection between Batman and the power brokers in Gotham. And then all of a sudden there's an imposter Batman that Detective Wong has to deal with, and Batman. So how does Batman solve the problem of an imposter Batman? Because at this point, the Gotham PD has now turned against him because he's killing criminals. And one of the things, I think one of the strengths of this book, besides the main story itself, which I think is cool that there's a Batman imposter, is when they discover what the connection is between the imposter Batman and the real Batman, and also his psychotherapy with Leslie Tompkins. And she keeps saying, why do you do it? And I'm not going to spoil it and tell you what his answer is, but his answer has an emotional impact. His answer is an answer that you've always wanted to hear, but you've also wanted to see evidence of. And the rest of the book, it would be a spoiler if I told you about the rest of the book, other than to say he does a lot of detective work. He does a lot of dancing around, trying to clear his name, making sure Bruce Wayne's name doesn't get smeared. And he starts a relationship with someone as Bruce Wayne. I found the art, of course, was impeccable because Andrea Sorrentino is amazing. And Mattson Tomlin does a really good job at presenting us with a Batman that's vulnerable yet dedicated, tough, but still concerned about how things are going and how his image is seen. He's, of course, the driven Batman, and what drives him is the thing that always drives Batman. And they sort of try to, Leslie Tompkins and Bruce Wayne try to sort of pick it apart. And I found it really interesting and very well written as an examination of Batman / Bruce Wayne's psyche. I thought this was really well done, and I highly recommend it. I found this book to be very much a multi-layered look at Batman, and importantly, a multi-layered look at Bruce Wayne. So I highly recommend Batman the Imposter too. I thought this book was excellent, and I feel like you'll dig it too. Of course, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, link Organic Prize Books. Which code's this? Oh, it's upside down. Or maybe you're upside down. 5% off, shipping 3 or more books together. Omnidog ship it together. 5% saves a lot if you ship 3 or more books together. And my code Omnidog. Thanks to Organic Prize Books for helping me out. Thanks to all of you out there for watching. Peace and love. Peace and love. I have the best viewers in the world. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love.